Hey, this is John Hansen, Mr. Natural Olympia, three-time Natural Mr. Universe. I'm at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa, Florida for Criticalbench.com, and we are talking about bodybuilding posing today. When we talk about bodybuilding posing, let's talk about what happens in a competition. First of all, the very first round of the competition is the relaxed round. This is where you come out and you have to stand in 4 positions, showing your body from a relaxed position. So it's 4 quarter turns. You're going to show the body from the front, the left side, the back, and the right side. The judges are basically looking for the symmetry and the shape and the proportion of the physique. In this round, it's important that you stay flexed and you don't really relax. Even though it's called the relaxed round, you're not supposed to relax. You have to keep the body flexed, and you really want to emphasize your symmetry, which in bodybuilding is the V taper from the shoulders to the waist. Also, you want to show that your legs are in proportion to your upper body. You want to show your muscularity, it's particularly in your abdominals and your lower back and your hamstrings. So it's important to keep the body flexed at all times. And this requires practice. As with anything with posing, it always requires a lot of practice. When you're up on stage, you don't have a mirror in front of you. So you have to have this practice to the point where it's second nature. And you can just stand up there and look totally relaxed and totally natural, but you're totally flexed and it doesn't look like you're posing. The second round of judging is the mandatory poses. This is where the judges get to assess you in comparison to the other competitors using the 7 mandatory poses. So the first pose you're going to be doing is the front double bicep pose. This is where you're flexing your arms from the front, and the judges are going to assess your whole front side of the physique. They're going to look not only your arms, but also the width of your body, how wide your shoulders are in comparison to your waist. They're going to look at the thickness of your chest when your arms are raised. They're going to look at the biceps in comparison with the triceps. And they're also going to be looking at the legs, even though this is an upper body pose. They're going to be making sure that your thighs look good from the front in comparison to your upper body and how your calves look from the front. The next pose is the front lat spread. Front lat spread is going to show the width of the body, especially the upper body. Again, they're looking for that V taper from your shoulders to your waist. They want to see the width of your lats. They want to see how your chest looks in this pose. They want to see how your arms and shoulders look in this pose. And then they're also going to be looking at the legs, again, in comparison to your upper body, because you're going to be spreading the lats. You're going to be seeing that V taper, and they want to make sure your legs are in proportion to your upper body. Then they want to see the body from the side. So they're going to look at the side chest pose. The side chest pose is going to show the thickness of the body from the side. You may look wide from the front, but when you turn to the side, you can really assess how thick the muscles are. So they're going to be looking at how thick your chest looks, how wide your upper body looks. They want to see your shoulders and your arms from the side. They also want to see how your legs look from the side. So now they can see the comparison of your hamstrings to your quadriceps, and they get a better look at your calves. Then they're going to look at the side tricep pose. Another pose where your hand is behind your back, and now they can see your tricep muscles in the back of the arm. They're also going to be looking at your abdominal muscles and your chest and how your shoulders look, and again, they're going to be looking at the side of the leg. Then they're going to turn the body around and they're going to look at you from the rear. They're going to see you from the rear double bicep pose. So now they get to see how your back looks. They want to see, again, the comparison of your shoulders to your waist. They want to see that V taper, but they also want to see the development of your lats, your traps, your lower back. They can see your muscularity and your conditioning when they look at your lower back, because this is one of the last places that your body fat will come off of. They're looking at your shoulders and your arms when you're flexing them from the back. And then they're going to look at your glutes and your hamstrings and your calves. They want to see that everything is in proportion to the upper body. And then they're going to look at the rear lat spread pose. And then this is another pose where they're going to see the width of your body from the back. You may look good from the front, but they want to see how you look from the back also. They're going to look at that V taper from the shoulders to the waist. And again, they're checking out the legs to look at the conditioning and the proportions. And then they're going to turn you around back to the front. And then this is the magic pose. This is the money pose, the abdominal pose. This is going to show what kind of condition you're in. They want to see an overhead abdominal pose flexing one leg. So now they're going to see, again, the width of the upper body to the waist, but they're really looking at the abdominal muscles and how cut you are and how conditioned you are, and they're looking at your legs, again, in comparison to the upper body. And then to finish off, they might ask for a most muscular pose, and this is, again, they're looking at the conditioning, how cut you are, how developed you are, the thickness of the muscles, and also your conditioning and your muscularity. The last round of posing is the individual posing routines. This is where you'll design a posing routine based on your strengths of your physique. You're showing the judges the strong parts of your physique, and you're de-emphasizing your weaknesses. You're hiding your weaknesses and showing your strengths. And this is where you can bring a little creativity and artistry into the sport by doing whatever you think you want to do. You can figure out your own transitions. You can do whatever poses you want to do. You can do them in the order you want to do them in. You can create your own routine. This is where the artistic part of bodybuilding shines through. You're also going to pick your own music. For an example of this, or for inspiration from this, you should look to some of the great posers in bodybuilding. My favorites are, of course, Ed Corney, who was the master poser. Ed Corney was a great poser in the 1970s, and he became very famous for his posing routines. He was even featured in the movie Pumping Iron, where Arnold looked around after looking at Ed Corney and he said, "Now that's what I call posing." And Ed Corney was a fantastic poser because he really understood the value of the transitions between the poses. He not only picked poses where he looked good in, but he really mastered the transitions. He did some poses that were very powerful transitions, where he really slowed the transitions down, and then he did other poses where he did very quickly. He did lunging poses, he did twisting poses, he did kneeling poses. He did all different types of positions to see the body from all different angles, and he was really a master at that. And then you've also got to look at other bodybuilders like MAKKAWY. MAKKAWY was only 5'2" and weighed 150 pounds, but he looked like he was 200 pounds on stage because he really hid the weak points of his physique, and he did a classical type of posing routine with incredible transitions, and he really choreographed it to the music in such a way that it was very powerful and very moving. And then LABRADA, another great poser, who sort of took a page from MAKKAWY's playbook, and he did the same type of classical posing. Lee actually created poses for his own physique that suited his individual physique. It showed off not only his muscle mass, but also his symmetry and his conditioning and his individual shape. Lee picked music that was perfect for his physique, and he was such a master poser, sometimes he would actually take 2 songs in a row and do the full posing routine to both songs. So look at the routines from master posers like these guys, and Sean Ray and Kevin Levrone and Flex Wheeler. These guys were really fantastic posers. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger was a master poser, and he picked poses that were just perfect for his physique. Follow the routines of these guys, look at them for inspiration, try to pick a bodybuilder that looks like your physique, that has a similar type of structure, a similar type of look of your physique, and then look at your weak points, look at your strong points, make sure that you're always hiding your weak points, and really emphasize your strong points for the judges, because this is your chance to shine when you do the individual posing routine. So how do you become a great poser? It's all about practice. You have to put the time in and put as much time into your posing as you do your training and your nutrition. Most people, when they get ready for a competition, they train very hard at the gym, they do their cardio, and their diet is perfect. They're eating 6-7 meals a day, they have everything planned out, and they really put all their effort into that. But that's not enough, because when it comes to getting up on stage, you have to show the judges what you've worked for, and you have to show the audience what you've worked for. And the only way you can do that is you have to practice your posing. I try to put at least an hour of posing practice every day when I'm getting ready for a competition. It's tedious, it's sometimes monotonous, it's not the most fun thing to do, especially when you're dieting, but it's absolutely necessary. First of all, your physique will look better the more you pose. When you pose, it's isometric contraction of all the muscles. Your muscles are getting used to being in those particular poses, and the more you practice those poses, the muscles will actually look better. Your physique will look better in those poses that you do. So it's going to make your physique look better. But the posing practice will make you look more smooth on stage. It'll make you look more professional. You'll be able to hit the poses correctly. You'll be able to do them with no effort whatsoever. You won't be shaking. And when you do your posing routine at night, you'll be able to flex everything and make it look effortless. You'll be able to smile and do smooth transitions, and it'll make you look like a total professional. And it'll really make you stand out from all those people that don't practice their posing. One of the most important aspects is picking the right poses. And this again all comes down to assessing your physique, figuring out what your strong points are. And again, I mentioned picking out a bodybuilder that your physique resembles. Pick out a champion, someone who's been at the top, and look at their physique. And if you can find someone who looks like your physique, try to emphasize and copy their poses and see how it looks on your body. And if it looks good, then use those poses. Don't ever use a pose that doesn't look good on your physique, no matter how good it looks on someone else. The other thing is the music. You want to pick the correct music for your posing routine. You want to pick music that's going to be memorable, something that means something to you. You want something that's going to be inspiring and motivating. You want to have, if the music has lyrics, you want to have lyrics that are going to sound inspirational. They're going to make you sound like a winner. Lee Haney would use posing music from the Rocky movies, because the Rocky movies was very inspirational, inspiring music. So you want to choose something that's going to be very memorable. You can pick a routine that's more of a rock and roll type music, as long as it fits your physique and as long as it makes an impact on the judges and it makes an impact on the audience and it makes your routine look better. So those are my overall thoughts on what makes posing so important and so critical in a bodybuilding competition and how you can make a better posing routine for yourself. This is John Hansen, Natural Mr. Olympia, 3-time Natural Mr. Universe at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa, Florida for Criticalbench.com. So if you like that, be sure to check out this link to see some of the legendary exercises from some of the greatest bodybuilders in the world. And if you're on a mobile device and you can't click here, check the description area below, click the top link, and be sure to add your email so we can send you some more videos. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to leave a comment or question for us.